Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for October 8th, 2018. This week, let's begin with the lamest excuse I've ever heard. Professor who tweeted for Republican death calls it experiment after backlash. Christine Fair, a Georgetown University professor, had her Twitter account briefly suspended twice after tweeting that the Republican senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee should die. All of them deserve miserable deaths while feminists laugh as they take their last gasps, Fair's tweet stated. Bonus, we castrate their corpses and feed them to swine. Yes? Now the scholar is back on Twitter and claims the suspension was an accident on the part of Twitter. In an interview with the Washington Post, Fair also called her tweet an experiment. Yep, just a joke, bruh, has been replaced with something far superior. Now it's just an experiment. Now, as we all know, experiments are procedures performed to test a theory or demonstrate an already known fact. So, what theory was this experiment meant to test? In an interview with the Washington Post, Fair also called her tweet an experiment. And in an email to the New York Post, she said, in retrospect, I should have blogged about this rather than tweeting it. My intention was to throw back the kind of hate I get in one of the forms I get to make people as uncomfortable as I feel. My discomfort is not caused by words. My discomfort and that of millions of women is caused by the actions that are killing women, injuring us while our perpetrators' behavior is explained away and normalized. Well, there's no question in there that requires an answer, so clearly we're not testing a theory at all. Are we demonstrating a known fact in some way? Let me read that again. My intention was to throw back the kind of hate I get in one of the forms I get to make people as uncomfortable as I feel. Nope. I wanted to make people feel bad is not a known fact of any sort. So exactly what definition of experiment does this fit? It doesn't really, but ironically, this little hissy fit did demonstrate a known fact, albeit after the fact and totally not the known fact she was apparently trying for. She also called notions that she is actually advocating violence preposterous. Yeah, preposterous. It's not like I said kill the Jews and feed their bodies to pigs or anything. I just said Republican senators. That's totally different. After the castration tweet went viral, Fair's account was suspended Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, it was back up, and a Twitter spokesman told the Washington Post that the suspension was a mistake. It was suspended a second time, and the Twitter spokesman did not comment on this to the Post. But the account is now back up, and Fair is actively tweeting. And there's the known fact. What known fact did you actually manage to demonstrate? Yet again, as though we really needed more examples, Twitter's hate speech and incitement to violence rules are not applied equally across the board. You're totally allowed to do that just so long as you're hating and inciting violence against the right people. Was that what you were trying to show us? I kinda doubt it. Georgetown released a statement from President John DeGoya in support of academic freedom. The statement read in part, we protect the right of our community members to exercise their freedom of expression. This does not mean the university endorses the content of their expression. We can and do strongly condemn the use of violent imagery, profanity, and insensitive labeling of individuals based on gender, ethnicity, or political affiliation in any form of discourse. If comments made by faculty members are determined to substantially affect their teaching, research, or university service, we will address them through established university procedures outlined in our Georgetown University Faculty Handbook. That's fine. I agree she has the right to say whatever she likes on her own time. This was a tweet she made on her own time and thus shouldn't be any concern of the university's. However, I do have to wonder, when you have a professor talking like this on their own time, how much can students really trust her in the classroom to present facts without the clear bias she's demonstrating here? If special students are threatened by the mere presence of someone like Ben Shapiro because he might say things they don't agree with, then exactly how is this woman openly advocating for violence, not a threat. Seems like quite a fine line you're walking there, Georgetown. What's next, Bob? Colorado State. Avoid gendered emojis. Gendered emojis. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Colorado State University has released a new social media guide, encouraging organizations on campus to make their social media more inclusive by avoiding gendered emojis and more. The 10 Ways to Make Your Social Media Channels More Inclusive guide was released as a result of the CSU Inclusive Communications Task Force and gives a quick guide for inclusive communications according to the webpage. Oh, so it's not just emojis at all. It's, please use the words we want you to use. Well, that's not Orwellian at all. Use inclusive pronouns, Colorado State directs students. Use the yellow emojis when addressing a diverse audience. Avoid gendered emojis when possible. The guide also advises students to caption photos and videos, use title case for hashtags, and share a variety of perspectives. A variety of perspectives, huh? Does that include the evil, cis, white, heteronormative, patriarchal male perspective, or is that too triggering? Both shape our perception of the world in both subtle and obvious ways. As social media managers and marketers, that power comes with great responsibility, the online guide states. Young Americans for Liberty at CSU Chairman Ethan Burshek called the guidelines absurd, overly restrictive, and completely unenforceable when speaking with campus reform. Ethan, buddy, your perspective doesn't count because you don't agree. You silly, silly goose. CSU has absolutely no control over its students or social media, and as far as I know, they don't even check it, Burshek said. It's entirely a farce. It's just a virtue signal that they're putting out. Is it really, though? I mean, I agree, it certainly seems as though that's all this is because, as you said, there's no way for them to enforce it. Or is there? We've already seen what happens when you say something online that snowflakes don't like. For instance, try telling them there's only 2 genders. See how fast they demand your head on a pike. Now, suppose you're a high school student trying to get into CSU. God knows why you'd bother, but play along for the sake of the example. So you fill out your application, and the CSU Stasi goes looking on your social media to find that, oh my God, this guy believes Richard Spencer has a right to speak. He's literally Hitler. Denied. We can't have people like that around here. They're literally killing people with words they don't want to hear. Same goes for anyone on a scholarship or a grant or whatever. Easily revoked if you don't say the things we expect you to say. I'd say that's enforcement, wouldn't you? Burshek also joked about the yellow emojis guideline, claiming that progressives used to think they represented white people. A month ago, the progressives were telling us that the yellow emojis represented white people, and now they're saying it's the generic one. Ethan, you silly, silly person. You can't expect these people to remember what they said a month ago. They're progressives. They've learned so much since last month's uninformed, ignorant ramblings. They've got totally new and thoroughly grounded opinions now. That's progress. And what they said yesterday no longer applies either. They're super progressives. Commenting on the guide as a whole, Burshek said, I don't think anyone actually cares what emojis you use. Burshek did, however, give credit to the university because overall they have not limited speech in the past. CSU is very open to free speech. They'll release speech codes that have suggestions, but there's no one who's actually going to sanction you for saying anything, Burshek said. Yet. Given the trend we've seen in other universities, I wouldn't hold your breath that continues for much longer. I'm glad you're optimistic, but I'm not. Colorado State did not respond to the request for comment. Big shock. All right, Bob. Toxic masculinity time. Woman who killed neighbor by cutting baby from womb says she didn't explicitly alert her ex. A North Dakota woman claimed Tuesday she cut a baby from her neighbor's womb, ultimately killing the woman because she felt pressured to produce a baby after lying about being pregnant to keep her boyfriend from leaving. Brooke Cruz spoke out in the trial of her now ex, William Hone, in Fargo. Hone is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Cruz pleaded guilty last year to murdering 22-year-old Savannah Graywind and is serving a life sentence without parole. Cruz said she killed Graywind and stole her baby because she felt pressured by Hone to have a child. She told defense attorney Daniel Borgen that she did not explicitly tell Hone she planned to kill Graywind and steal her baby. However, she said he had presented her with what she believed was an ultimatum. Catch that so far? She felt pressured to have a baby. Why? Because she lied about being pregnant to prevent a breakup. Totally toxic masculinity there, with an added dose of patriarchy just for good measure. Hone has admitted he helped cover up the crime, but said he didn't know that Cruz had planned to kill Graywind and take her baby. The child survived the ordeal and is being raised by family. Cruz described her relationship with Hone as rocky and violent, saying it was fueled by drugs and alcohol. She said they broke up at one point, and that's when she lied to him about being pregnant. She went so far as to email him a phony positive pregnancy test and sonogram photo, she claimed. Violent, drug-fueled relationship. Yeah, I can totally see why you didn't want that to end. In early August 2017, Hone told Cruz he didn't believe she was pregnant and said she needed to produce a baby. Cruz said she believed this was an ultimatum. I took that to mean I better have a baby, no matter how it happened, Cruz said. Yeah, that's what he meant. He didn't at all mean that you'd better pop out his baby that you told him you were carrying and showed him a fake sonogram of. No. He totally meant whatever kid by whatever means. Completely logical conclusion there. She said that Hones was surprised when she appeared in their apartment later that month with Graywind's baby. I'll bet he was. I'm pregnant. No, you're not. 1 month later, ta-da, here's the baby. That's like record time. Nothing suspicious there. But that he retrieved a rope and strangled the victim to ensure she was dead. If she wasn't dead before, she is now, Hone allegedly said, according to Cruz's testimony. Okay, dude, seriously, what the fuck? I mean, clearly your girlfriend is a psycho here, but up till now, you hadn't done anything wrong. Why in God's name are you helping her with this shit? I thought you wanted out. Then she shows up with a kid that you know isn't yours. I mean, there's dumb and there's really fucking dumb. There's just no way you didn't know that wasn't your kid, and yet you go on, help her cover up this shit, and pretend it is anyway? Fuck it. I'm done. Ordinarily, I would remind you of the golden rule. Never stick your dick in crazy. But shit, by the sounds of it, you two deserve each other. She's a psycho, and you're either just as psychotic or so fucking dumb you make Riley Dennis look like a rocket scientist. Either way, you deserve each other. Enjoy your life in prison. May neither one of you ever see the light of day again. All right, Bob. That one was a little dark. Get us out of here with a laugh. Louisiana man claims ghost planted meth at his home, falsely reports stabbing. I guess we know where Ghastly's been. A Louisiana man who claimed that a ghost planted drugs on him after he was hit in the head with an axe, despite having no visible wounds, is under arrest. Michael Ottenberry, 59, reported to sheriff's deputies on Wednesday that there had been a stabbing at his home in West Monroe, according to arrest records. When deputies arrived, Ottenberry shouted at them and at people who were obviously not there, the arrest records said. Officials mentioned that the man had not been stabbed in the head with an axe as he claimed. Ottenberry told deputies that intruders were in his home. Police determined that this wasn't the case. He allegedly told authorities that the suspected crystal meth deputies claim to have found on his nightstand was planted by a ghost or intruders who happened to be climbing out a nearby window, which police also determined to be false. Ottenberry was charged with possession of a controlled dangerous substance and giving a false police report. He was booked at whatever correctional center on a $5,000 bond. So, yeah, let me get this straight. A ghost broke into your house, threw some crystal meth on the nightstand, whacked you in the head with an axe that evidently didn't cause you any harm, then hung around, waited for you to call the police, and then climbed out the window after the police arrived. Sounds plausible. That's it for this week. Remember the social justice mantra: women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.